A woman goes up to a man and says that she was waiting for him, but as he had been slow to arrive, she went to him. He thanked her for coming there, told her it would take him a little longer to leave. She then said that she would wait for him and that when he was done, they could leave. He thanks her, so the woman will sit down to wait for him. She kept waiting for him and kept looking around in the meantime, observing the things that were happening. At that moment, another man appears and greets the woman. He then asks what a beautiful woman like her was doing there. She said she was waiting for the man to finish so she could leave. He then asks if the man lived nearby to come pick her up, but she says no. She says that the one she was waiting for was that man who was there cleaning. The other man then tells her that she could only be playing with him, which makes her very surprised. He says he couldn't believe that this beautiful woman was next to that kind of man. The woman can't understand what the other man was saying and asks what he was talking about. He then says that he couldn't believe that she was together with this man, as he shouldn't be able to give her what she wanted. He says that even after work, the man should still smell really bad and that she wouldn't be able to get out next to him to go to a nice restaurant or something. He then says that she didn't deserve to be next to a person like that man, that she should be next to a person who was able to give her everything she needed. She then tells the other man that he should stop saying those things, because the man's work was no reason for him to be looked down upon by other people and that it was honest work. The woman then tells the man that he should think again about what he was talking about, because that place was only very clean or because of the man who had cleaned what other people had dirty. The other man then says that if he were a woman and he was with a street sweeper, he would be ashamed to say that to other people and to his family. He says that a person like a man should not have money to do what the woman needed and that he had no money to pay the bills of the house. The woman then said that in fact, she would be very ashamed of him, because if the man was dirty and smelly it was because he was working. She then says that the other man must also be smelling bad when he came home from work and that he shouldn't talk like that about other people, but the other man says that, unlike the man or his sweat, it didn't smell bad as he wasn't cleaning up other people's garbage. He said that this work was shameful, but the woman said that she was not ashamed of the work that the man did, for he was doing honest work and that many people wished they could work with what the man worked. She says that many people were unemployed and that they wished they could have the opportunity to work. She then wonders, how could there still be people like that man who was so prejudiced against people? She then asks how the other man's family reacted to learning he was that way. He then said that his father had abandoned him. The woman is sad to hear this and asks him what had happened, and he starts saying that he didn't know and that he thought his father had abandoned him. He says that the truth was that his father did not want to take on the son he had when he was very young and that for that reason he left, leaving his mother alone with him. He said that he really wanted his father to be by his side, but that it couldn't happen. He then said if his father had been there, he certainly wouldn't have as shameful a job as that man. He again says that this job was very shameful and that she deserved to be next to a person who could give her everything she deserved. He says that if she went to any event, she would feel very ashamed to get together with that person and that she should be together with a man with him, who could give her everything she wanted, because he had a lot of money. The woman then proceeds to tell the other man that she was going to tell him some things about life, as he certainly hadn't learned those lessons yet. She then tells him that the important thing in life was not what a person earned, but what she could provide for the person next to her. She says that the important thing was whether a person was honest or not and that this was much more important than the money they earned. The other man then says that he would no longer argue about that matter with the woman and that if his father were there, he would have the same mindset as him on that subject. The woman then says that she felt very sorry for him. She says that he should be more careful when talking about other people's work, as he could never know what was going to happen in the future and one day he might need to work with what the man worked with. He then says that if his father was there, he could help his mother pay for a much better college. He said that if his father had been there, it could happen, but that even though his work was very good, he could have been an even better person. He said that he could have a much better job than he had at that time and that he could be earning much more, but that unfortunately his father left and that he abandoned his mother and him alone. He said that even though his life wasn't bad, he could have been much better at that moment, but that he wasn't complaining about his life. He then walks away and as he was leaving, He goes up to the man to tell him that he had gotten a very beautiful woman, but at that moment he realizes that that man was, in fact, his father. The man seeing that, he is surprised and says that he hasn't seen his son in a long time. He says that he was very ashamed of his father as he had abandoned him and his mother to be with someone else and that he never came back to find out how they were doing. He said he was too ashamed of him, so he leaves. At this point, the woman arrives and asks what had happened and the man said that this was his son and the two go after the other man. They chase after the other man, then the woman tells the man that he should make her child so they can get right what was wrong in their relationship. He then sits down next to his son and the other man says that he didn't want to talk to his father at that time. The man then proceeds to say that, unfortunately, he was wrong to abandon his son as he was too young and that he did not know how to take care of a child. He says that he went into despair and that he didn't know what to do, so he ended up leaving and that this was a mistake and that he regretted every day of his life. The son then tells the man that he had been talking to his father's girlfriend and that he had spoken very badly about his father's profession. He said he never imagined that his father could work with that and that he was very ashamed. The man then tells his daughter that unfortunately that was not a profession that everyone valued very much, because he ended up cleaning other people's garbage, but that he was very proud of that profession, because it was with it that he was able to support his family. Unfortunately, he was unable to study, but he managed to get a good profession to support his family. The son then tells the man that he was sorry for the kind of thoughts he had about his father's profession. He said that he should not think that about his father's profession, for it was with it that he could support himself. He said he was sorry for what he had said and asked his father to forgive him for the way he was thinking. The man said he forgave his son and then they embraced. The son then wondered if what he did was right. He said that he shouldn't have that kind of thinking about other people's professions and that all professions are worthy. If you liked this video, please leave a comment and a like. Until next time.